the new 30s. So.
Good evening and welcome to the City Council meeting for Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. We will begin with a roll call and determination of quorum.
Lehman. Here. Maher. Here. Roberts. Here. Stroman.
Here.
Pettigrew.
Here.
Seacrest.
Here.
Bieberdorf.
Here.
Tamang.
Here.
Evans.
Here.
Meyer.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Obviously, you can tell we got someone phoning in tonight, but we have a full quorum. Next, we will have an invocation by Brian McDaniel, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. If you're able and willing, would you please rise?
Mr. Mayor, thank you so much on behalf of the Rapid City community ministers for allowing this honor and privilege. We appreciate it. So would you join me in a word of prayer? Father God, we are so grateful for this time and this moment you brought our leaders together here in Rapid City. We're asking that you give them wisdom where wisdom is needed, discernment where discernment is needed. And Father God, as decisions are discussed and are made, we pray that it is done in a perspective and an attitude of love. We thank you for their service to our community, their teams that serve the Rapid City area, and we are grateful for the blessing that they are to us. So would you be their shield? Would you be their buckler? And we ask tonight that the presence of your Holy Spirit be in this place as they look to make the best decision for our community. And we call them blessed in Jesus' name, and amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Now I will entertain a motion to adopt the agenda. Got a motion by Bieberdorf with a second by Tamang to adopt the agenda. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The agenda is adopted. First on the agenda here is a special presentation from the Sustainability Committee. So I'm going to invite them to come on up to the podium, and they're going to give us their annual update.
Hi, my name is David Holland. I am the chair of the Sustainability Committee, and I'm joined by Heidi Sieverding and a handful of the members of our committee. Thank you for this opportunity. We are the Mayor's Standing Committee on Sustainability. This is our 2025 report. All the activities that we participated in 2025. We'll try to keep it short in about the 5 to 7 minute range is what we're looking for. So here's just a quick little summary of what we're going to talk about, the purpose for our committee, how we're structured, how we engage the community in 2025, and some of the plans that we have for 2026. So sustainability means meeting today's needs without jeopardizing the future of our community. So we often get talked about as only thinking about the future, but we also absolutely have to live for today. And so we listen, advise, educate, promote, and share. Those are the tenets of our committee. So here is our leadership group. I am the chair. This is my son. He got a pin on the trail challenge. He was really excited for that. Heidi is our vice chair, Taryn is our secretary, Patricia behind me is our treasurer, and also Kathy back here is our social media. And she does a fantastic job. They all do a great job. This is our committee. We are 12 full members and 2 alternates. We added 5 new members this year. I would like to give a thanks to some of the members that left our committee this year for various reasons. Callie is on the council. She was on the committee. Also, Kelly Moore, we'd like to thank him for his service. Garth Wadsworth and Kelly Jewell. Our new members this year, you can see 3 of them in the photo there. Let's see, our Quentin, Quentin, Nicole, and Leah. And we also changed our bylaws this year to have 2 youth ambassadors. And so Ellie Palmer and Sophia Solway have joined us. That's a 1-year term for high school students. We had one, Olivia, leave us last year. We loved her so much, we said we want 2 of you next year. So engaging the community, these are some of the activities that we participated in. This is not all of them. This always blows me away every year. I don't know how we get into all this much, but we have a big committee, and so we're able to do quite a bit. I would just want to point out that a lot of the activities that we do as a committee are a request by our community. We get a lot of phone calls from the community and say, you know, can the city work on this? Can the sustainability committee work on this? So a lot of these are demands of our community. A couple of ones that I'd like to point out, we invited SDSU Extension to do a master food preserver training. We did that at Fork Real Cafe and trained up 4 local citizens in master food preserving. We also had a collaboration this year with the U City Council at the YFS Harvest Festival. That was really successful. We also received a Rotary grant that helped fund that food preservation education. And we also created a local flyer that we pass out at a lot of the events that we do that promotes our local grocers and local growers of local foods in Rapid City. We also gave feedback on a couple of the city plans, the EPA Climate and Pollution Reduction Grant. We participated in that, and also the comprehensive plan. And now I am going to turn it over to Heidi, who is going to talk about our subcommittees and some of the other work that we did in 25 and what we're up to in 2026. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. So for the next couple slides, it's just going through a picture show of some of the events that we've had over the last year. So we have 2 subcommittees that we formed last year on sustainable growth and development and local and sustainable food supply. So to better address the community concern, we've done a few informal polls, adopt polls, and during the events, people have overwhelmingly stated that they're interested for local foods in backyard gardens, food preservation, and backyard hens. So to further address that, with the help of Rotary, we did host a master food preserver class. So the participants in the class have agreed to host food preservation classes over the coming year for the community. So for a local and sustainable food supply, we had multiple different meetings investigating the possibility of an indoor farmers market. We visited with local food experts, worked to reduce food waste, and conducted a community needs assessment for community gardens. We toured Security First National Bank's Green Building and recognized them for their outstanding effort with the Sustainability Award. And we contributed feedback to the Rapid City Comprehensive Plan and have started working with community planning and the water department to better understand their concerns and to advocate more for public transportation. Some of our members and liaisons traveled to the Growing Sustainable Communities Conference in Iowa. We brought back some great information and strategies for improving the sustainability of our community, and we thank the city for supporting the participation in that conference. The big event of the year for the Sustainability Committee is the Earth Day Expo. We hosted it again last year, co-hosted it at Western Dakota Tech with Western Dakota Tech, Dakota Rural Action, and South Dakota School of Mines, despite a cold and blustery day. Once again, over 1,000 community members came to learn about resources within our community and to help them better care for the earth and to be more sustainable. In the coming year, we plan on highlighting the importance of water resources to our sustainable growth and development. This spring, we plan on making the Earth Day Expo even better than last year. We will be supporting classes on native gardening and food preservation, and we hope to see you at one of the events or activities. So thank you for your time. The community is welcome to join us on our meetings. Meetings are held just down the hall in City Hall on the 2nd and 4th Mondays at 5:30 p.m. So we open the floor for questions.
Thank you for the presentation, and I have no questions, so we appreciate the annual update, appreciate the frequent updates that you provide. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Next, we will move on to general public comment, a time for members of the public to discuss or express concerns to the council on any issue not on the agenda. Action will not be taken at the meeting on any issue not on the agenda except by placement on the agenda by unanimous vote of the council members present. I do have a handful of speaker request forms for general public comment. I have others that are for items on the agenda later on in the meeting. But as a reminder, you have 3 minutes per person. So I will call a name, and I'll also let the person who's on deck know so that they can get ready to go. So right over here, where we have the presentations where you go, we will begin with Anthony Wright, followed by Gene Kesloff.
Good evening. My name is Anthony Wright. I'm a student at South Dakota School of Mines, and I serve on the Student Association Senate's Governmental Relations Committee. As of January 12th, approximately 2,400 to 2,500 students returned to campus for the spring semester, bringing students, faculty, and staff back into full academic activity after winter break. With students back on campus, there has been renewed engagement in campus and community-focused initiatives. Earlier this month, we hosted a Destination District or Liberty Land TIF Community Information Forum on campus. This event was attended by roughly 100 to 200 people, including students and community members. The forum was designated as an informational Q&A, not a debate, with a goal of providing clear explanations of the proposal and allowing attendees to ask questions in a structured and respectful setting focused on transparency and education. I would like to thank Mr. Daniel A., Rapid City's Finance Director, for attending the forum, answering questions, and providing a clear financial overview of the Liberty Land TIF. Later this month, approximately 20 South Dakota School of Mines students will travel to Pierre to participate in Students for Higher Education Day, or SHED. SHED is an annual statewide event organized through the South Dakota Student Federation, which represents students from all South Dakota Board of Regents institutions. During SHED, students will spend time in the state capitol, attending committee meetings, observing legislative sessions, meeting with legislators and state officials, and receiving formal recognition in both the House and Senate. The event is designed to educate students on the legislative process and to provide hands-on experience engaging with state government on issues affecting public higher education, including access, funding, and education quality. Overall, SHED is a student-led civic engagement initiative that helps students understand how higher education connects with state policy and governance while representing their universities in a professional setting. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. I want to say it's very noticed how much active the South Dakota Mines Senate is, and we appreciate all that you're doing with the community efforts, and keep up the good work. We have some great men and women in that. So, Gene Kesloff, you're up next, followed by Rob Bunnell.
Jean Kesloff, Historic Rapid City. Well, it's happened again. As Rapid City is celebrating its 150th birthday, it has seen to it that the neon signs from Rapid City's history have been damaged to where restoring them will be cost prohibitive. These signs, once impressive, drew the people to the businesses that created this successful community of Rapid City. The cultural heritage tourism, of which we are so proud, will soon be a thing of the past, and you will wonder where it went. Many cities are now focusing on preserving and restoring historic neon signs as cultural artifacts. Shouldn't we? Shouldn't these iconic items of our community deserve the same respect? The value of historic neon signs can vary significantly based on factors such as the sign's age, rarity, the brands it represents. Vintage neon signs, particularly those from the 1920s to the 1960s, are often highly sought after, but the true value of a neon sign is not solely determined by the aesthetic appeal, but also by its historical significance and the stories they tell. These signs could tell a lot of stories about the social, commercial, and economic development of Rapid City, the city you call home. Think stock growers. We ask you, what is the legacy that you all seek to leave the people of Rapid City in this 150th celebration? How do you suggest we rectify the most recent desecration of our 150-year-old community? We have decided to leave you with one more issue to ponder. Not only do we not want our own history, we don't want anyone else's, famous or not. In the 80s, Rapid City was gifted a total of 38 pieces of Western artwork by Joan Kroc, with the stipulation that she be kept informed about the progress of the Journey Museum, which was being built at the time. Rapid City, in their infinite wisdom that they always seem to have, did not do this. She pulled the offer and the artwork went away. You all, I have copies here for you, and so you know that this is true. Most of the collection has never been found, but one of the bronzes is in the Smithsonian. The other one was sold at Christie's auction house for $1.4 million. I repeat that, $1.4 million. And Rapid City pissed it away. Thank you.
Ron, you're up next, followed by Michael Lucas.
Thank you all, and thank you, Mr. Mayor. My name is Ron Bunnell. I'm Chapel Valley citizen, been here for since 1995, and I was going to write, my comments, and I've been writing so much here lately that I kind of run out of steam. Let me just say, the reason I'm here today is because of our home in Chapel Valley, and what might lie ahead for our future. In October 2013, we had the Atlas blizzard. And to give you an example of the kinds of things I've been doing, we were out of electrical power for 6 full days. Many, if not most, of the trees in the homeowners association where I live, Chapel Lane Village, were all damaged. And then we did a full mitigation of 19 acres of our own property out in the valley. And then we've been working on it ever since. I don't know if it's appropriate or not, Mr. Mayor, but I'd like to give this to each one of the board members. We actually designed this in our own home when we started the task force, and that was in 2009. And at that time, we were on an ad hoc committee with the Mayor Ellen Hanks, and the whole idea was to find another exit out of Chapel Valley. Regrettably, we never found another exit out of Chapel Valley. And so at this point in time, we're stuck with, the bridge that we have there. And I've been conducting meetings since October, the later part of October, about that. I'm on a task force, and that's who designed this brochure. In fact, I'm the task force leader. And the whole idea is that we educate people on how to live and survive in Chapel Valley. We're undergoing a lot of stress lately because we're not trying to figure out where we're going to go with the bridge and all of that. I will have 2 more meetings next week. One on the there's 2 of them on the 28th. Where we've been having the meetings, and they're open to anybody, is at the old Chop House. It's actually the resort there. And then on that Thursday, the 29th, we'll have a meeting basically for designing an evacuation plan out of Chapel Valley when the big storm hits. And one of the things I did with a group the other day was I asked them how many people live in Chapel Valley. And it's probably, I'm not going to ask you because we don't have time, we've got 8 seconds. But the total number out there right now, about 645 houses, something like 1,400 people.
All right, Mr. Bunnell, your time's up.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for working with our staff on that issue. Obviously, it's an important one. Mr. Lucas, you're up next, followed by Dale Nicola.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and staff. My name is Michael Lucas. I'm a retired Marine Lieutenant Colonel that just retired last year after serving 26 years in the greatest fighting force this nation has to offer. I'd also like to preface that I am a graduate of the class of '98 at Rapid City Central. I was raised here. And I plan to be a leadership figure in this community. So I'm moving back here to get involved. I spent the last year as a teacher at Lincoln High School, so I know that school system well. Excuse the bluntness of this first comment, but I want to talk about the dumpster fire that exists at our public high schools in terms of graduation rate and academic performance. As an example, Central High School has a 66% graduation rate and a 27% math proficiency rating. We can build all the fancy theme parks and sports complexes we want, but it's foolish to think that in today's society, our public school system performance doesn't impact the growth of this city. I did some research into the current superintendent who was just hired, and I'm not a fan. She comes from a rural school system of maybe 4,000 students compared to the 14,000 plus that exist in our school system. Her accolades deal with CTE improvement, not graduation rate, and academic performance improvement. My daughter's a senior at Central High School, and she has told me about the lack of academic integrity that exists due to a lack of leadership in our school district. What are you all doing about this? And I would highly recommend picking up the phone and calling Dr. Knoll over at Sioux Falls. And I want to end with this. Who's our Native American leadership on your team? Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Dale Nicola.
Hi, my name's Dale Nicola. Back in October 1st, I reported the city for its weeds. I would like to let everyone know the weeds were done. It was done on a Sunday, but it was done. It impressed me that they were out there on a Sunday doing them. And the one thing that was the city's problem that they had problems with on the weeds was the fence line along the drainage ditch. I would like everybody to know I noticed immediately that the fence was done. And I would like to praise John Olson for doing a good job. The fence looks great. It makes the neighborhood, the park, everything look better. I don't want to harp on the thing, so let's move on. I would like to talk with some people after the meeting. I would start with the city attorney, the mayor, Parks Department, sidewalk engineer, with sidewalk enforcement. I'm dealing with a traumatic brain injury at this time. And on top of this brain injury, I now have a concussion. We won't go into that because that's a long story and I got 3 minutes. Where was I? We shouldn't have so many broken sidewalks, different height levels, missing pieces, and rebar sticking up from them. Yes, I have pictures at home, so it does you no good now to fix them, other than to fix them the way they should be. When I get done with this city, and you will see my face at as many meetings as I can make, because of the concussion, it's been since October since I've been here. You will see my face. You will fix all the sidewalks to ADA legal aspects. And believe it or not, it's going to cost this city a lot of money.
Thank you, Mr. Nicola. So that concludes the general public comment, and we will move on to non-public hearing items 2 through 27 and open the public comment for items 2 through 21. I have no speaker request forms for those items, so we will close the public comment and move on to consent items 2 through 21. Would the council like to remove any items for separate consideration or approve the total balance? All right, we got a motion by Tamang with a second by Sechrist to approve items 2 through 21. All in favor? Any opposed? Excuse me, motion carries. That takes us to the end of the consent items, and we will move on to non-consent items 2 through 27 and open public comment for items 22 through 27, excuse me. And the first speaker request form on item 24 looks like Greg Stilton, and then followed by Kathy Thrash on item 27. Greg? Or at least I think that's what it says. All right.
Good evening. My name's Greg Stilton. I'm the owner of Rushmore Real Estate Group and a multiple owner, property owner on Mount Rushmore Road. I'm commenting on item 24. Firstly, I'd like to thank the property owners who stood as one to reject the Rushmore Road bid resolution proposed by the Mayor and the unelected committee known as Mount Rushmore Road Group. The committee as established, created by the Mayor and the Finance Director known as Mount Rushmore Road Group per STCL 9556 is specific only to the bid which has now been voted down. As a direct result, the committee should be disbanded and have no further authority or ability to influence City Council members and others on behalf of or for the property owners or the business owners. It's important to note that the Mount Rushmore Road Group Board never had standing to submit a proposal for a bid as it did not meet the minimum required standard per STCL 9555. The board chairman is neither a property owner, a business owner, or a spokesperson for any direct businesses within the area designated. And to my knowledge is not a resident of Rapid City or Pennington County. We expect the City Council minutes to reflect the failure of the resolution and the dissolving of that committee. I would hope that in future, when the Mayor and Council seek to increase and amend or vary property taxes above and beyond the normal inflationary increases, that they seek buy-in in future from the parties directly impacted by those increases and not some unofficial social media group with no real fiscal involvement. Moreover, when establishing any committee, that they in future follow the clear guidelines as established under the South Dakota codified laws. It would certainly have saved a significant amount of work on both my behalf and the many property owners who assisted in rejecting this proposal. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Kathy Thrash, followed by Dan Mullally.
Hello, City Council. Thank you for hearing my opinion here. I'm talking about number 27, the Backyard Hens Ordinance. So I would like to mention that I am a member of the Standing Committee of Sustainability since 2020, and I am active with the Rapid City Hens and the Rapid City Citizens for Urban Hens. I'm doing social media, have been doing lots of meetings with the people that are involved with this, and I just want to say that I support the way that it is written now. I know there's been a lot of contention and disagreement in it, and I agree that some of those past ordinances were probably not the best, but I believe that this crew has done their homework and addressed a lot of those concerns. Now, I must say, too, that I do own some business property in the city, but I'm not currently within the city limits residing, so I cannot vote on this. But I have had the benefit of my neighbors that have hens. And I got to say, moving out and within the last couple of years, I've made really good connections with my neighbors that I don't think would have happened before had I not heard that they had hens and I could get local, sustainable, better tasting, better nutritious eggs from them. And so it made me reach out to them. And I believe it created a sense of community that might not have been there before. I got to say, it just feels right to me to have this in place to let those that are in the city limits can do this. I believe that it would bring a lot of, I don't know, it brings to me a sense of security as far as like they're just right there. And in this kind of chaotic madness of situation with high prices and just kind of, I don't know, it just seems a lot right now. To have everything right there would be really nice. So I would support the ordinance. I hope you guys do too. And I am active in the petition. I understand. I'm learning a lot about government process and how this all works as well. But I understand that to bring it to a ballot and a vote and all of that would be a lot more involved with that. So I would ask for your support for the ordinance and moving that forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mullally, you're up next, followed by Darla Drew.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. My name is Dan Mullally, live in Rapid Valley, and I'm with the Wannabe Hobby Beekeepers Club. And I also have chickens out there. I'm in the valley, so we're allowed to. But I wanted to kind of draw a parallel between what the beekeepers went through and maybe what the hen people are going through. Before 2015, honeybees were considered, well, honeybees were not allowed in Rapid City for several years. And a lot of us beekeepers got together eventually an ordinance was passed in 2015 to turn that around. And as far as I know, after that was done, there were no negative effects from honeybees in the city. Another point, I grew up in St. Paul. They allowed honeybees there. My dad had them in the backyard. And so that was one of the arguments I made, is that Rapid City needs to consider what other big cities have successfully done. And in parallel to that, St. Paul allows chickens, so I think it's time for Rapid City to allow hens in the city limits. Thank you.
Next up is Darla Drew, followed by David Holland.
Hello, Council. I'm Darla Drew, citizen of Rapid City. It's been a minute. I haven't seen you guys in a long time. Served on council from 2014 to 2022. So I'm here tonight to support the backyard hen ordinance that you're considering. I know that you don't have anything really carved out yet for that particular ordinance. I brought the backyard hen issue up several times while on council. And yeah, we had some work to do, and I hope that you guys will get this done. It's time. It'll just come back. It's time this get done. They know it, I know it, and I think you guys know it too. This is something the city wants, and they can handle it. Give them a chance. Just give them a chance to see if this will work out for our city. I think it'll be more beneficial than you can imagine. And so I was ahead of my time, what can I say? But it is time now. And so I hope that you'll give this your best thoughts, and that you'll trust the people of Rapid City to obey what you come up with, and think about the repercussions or good things that can come from owning backyard hens. And that's it from me. So thank you for serving. I know it's not easy. I know it takes a lot of time. And I just want to thank you for all the time that you spend on our great city. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Holland's up next, followed by Jerry Owens.
Hi, my name is David Holland. I live in the West Boulevard neighborhood, and I just want to start by saying that I also am the president of the West Boulevard Neighborhood Association, and I do field a lot of complaints about issues in the neighborhood, and I am perfectly willing to field complaints if we do have any regarding chickens. And so I feel a little bit of your pain. I know you guys field concerns or complaints, whether you want to call it that, to our community. So I want to give a little bit of background. I hope some of the other people can speak to the benefits of backyard hens. I think there are many. First of all, this obviously has been considered a couple of times by City Council, the last time in 2020. And so we went back as a group. I'm part of the group that has put together a petition drive to put this on the ballot in June. What we did over a year ago is we watched all the City Council meetings. We read all the minutes. We wrote down the issues that people had, why it didn't pass the last time, and I'm just going to say them right now. There wasn't a smooth process figured out with the Humane Society, what to do with chickens if they ended up with them. There were concerns related to noise, smell, and disease, and there were concerns about poor communication with city staff. So we wrote those down and we said, okay, we have our work to do. So one of the first things we did was we met with the Humane Society, and I have met with the Humane Society at least a half a dozen times over the last 6 to 9 months. And we worked out a plan, which basically is similar to what a lot of other communities. There are more than 24 communities in South Dakota that allow backyard hens. And I've spoken to about 8 or 10 of their animal control officers, and I asked what they did. I also provided contact information to our Humane Society so that they can reach out to those animal control officers so they feel comfortable, if we did allow backyard hens, what that would look like. Noise, smell, and disease, we actually added some language to the ordinance that was considered in 2020 to address these. Noise is kind of already covered. There are no roosters allowed. Smell, we added a clause in there that if animal control can smell it from your neighbor's property, you're in violation. That was a common stipulation that we saw in other ordinances. Only one of the animal control officers that I talked to actually had that complaint. They issued a citation, and that owner had it cleaned up within the 72-hour time frame, and it wasn't a problem again. The last one, disease, we spoke with the veterinarian for the Black Hills Humane Society. The only one he was concerned with was avian flu, bird flu, right? And he said as long as they're in the coop at night and that they're not roaming around the streets of our city, there shouldn't be any danger of that. So we did try to address all of those. Let's see, I'm just going to name Sioux Falls, Spearfish, Hot Springs, Lead, Vermilion, Aberdeen, Brandon, Watertown, Yankton, Whitewood, Madison. Those are some of the cities in South Dakota that have had ordinances for backyard hens and allowed them for a long time. Rapid Valley, as Dan mentioned earlier, has allowed them, which is also under the jurisdiction of the Humane Society. So they've actually already been dealing with chickens for quite some time. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Jerry Owens, you're up next, and that will conclude public comment.
Actually, I'm Patty Pate. Jerry Owens is my husband, and the cat got his hearing aids, so I'm going to speak for him tonight.
All right, we'll allow it.
Jerry is a hobby beekeeper and has started the hobby beekeeping club here in Rapid City, has been very successful. We went through the whole ordinance for getting beekeeping allowed in Rapid City. And at that time, I remember the chicken lady coming and supporting us in our effort. It was when Sam Quaker was mayor. And I feel that this is just a perfect timing to have a sustainability annual report when we're talking about hens, backyard hens in Rapid City. It just goes hand in hand. As beekeepers family, we have been very successful in making the public aware of responsible beekeeping and what we can do for the community. And it just seems like the same opportunity should be given to people who want hens. I know I like fresh eggs. We're here to support the backyard hens.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That will conclude the public comment, and we will now move on to item 22, first reading of ordinance number 6702, an ordinance amending section 17.06 of the Rapid City Municipal Code, a request by City of Rapid City for rezoning request from public district to heavy industrial district for property generally described as being located at 5055 South Highway 79. Got a motion by Roberts with a second by Lehman to approve. All in favor? Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 23, first reading of ordinance number 6703, an ordinance amending section 17.06 of the Rapid City Municipal Code, a request by TUI Design Group for Watershed Development 2, LLC, for rezoning request from no-use district to low-density residential district 2 for property generally described as being located north of the northern terminus of Cloud Peak Drive. Motion by Roberts with a second by Sechrist to approve. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 24, approve the Mount Rushmore Road Business Improvement District. Before we have any conversation on that, the city attorney has an update for us. Joel Landine.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a continuation of the public hearing on the creation of the Mount Rushmore Road Business Improvement District. At the hearing at the last meeting, a petition was submitted by the property owners within the district. We've had a chance to look at that. I believe there are sufficient signatures of the property owners within the district that, pursuant to state statute, the only option for the council at this point is to acknowledge that sufficient landowners have submitted a petition to protest creation of the district and therefore terminate the hearing and not create the district.
Okay, we got a motion. What's your motion? You said so moved. All right, thank you. Just want to make sure. Don't want to put words in your mouth. So we have a motion to terminate this, followed by a second by Roberts. Councilor Tamang, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think this all worked out the way it was supposed to be, and I appreciate the property owners coming forward. I just wanted to make a quick note that the Mount Rushmore Road Group and Deborah Jensen, I think, had the highest intentions with this, and I think their hope was to make the area better, and I do acknowledge and appreciate what they did to try to help. I yield.
Thank you. So the motion on the floor is to terminate this item. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 25, a request by Baseline Surveying, Inc. for Mike Sojan for preliminary subdivision plan for proposed Lot 1 of Sojin Addition, generally described as being located southwest of the intersection of Country Road and Three Rivers Drive. The recommendation is to approve with stipulations. Got a motion by Roberts with a second by Lehman to approve with stipulations. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 26, a request by Baseline Surveying, Inc. for Rapid Creek Land Development, LLC, for a preliminary subdivision plan for proposed Lot 1 and Lot 2 of Rapid Creek subdivision, generally described as being located at 23275 Radar Hill Road. The recommendation is to approve with stipulations. Motion by Pettigrew, second by Evans to approve with stipulations. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 27, a request by Alderman Tamang that the City Council direct city staff to bring forward an ordinance legalizing the keeping of chickens on residentially zoned properties in Rapid City. And with that, we'll go to Councilor Tamang.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would move to approve, and if I can get a second, I'd like to hold the floor.
All right, you got a motion by Tamang with a second by Seekers to approve. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. I can't speak to any of the points better than Mr. Holland and some of the other commenters, so thank you for doing that. I just had a couple of quick points on this. I think that the ordinance that was written by the group, I compared it to as many of the ordinances as I could find and tried to make sure that it was aligned with what seemed to be working well in other communities. And there's a lot of them, as they pointed out. And I found the ordinance as written to be really quite well done. And there's some areas, I think Director Fisher brought up some stuff that was excellent. And I think Mr. Lendine said he was going to speak with the Humane Society. So I think we can fine tune it a little bit, but I think the vast majority of it's ready to go. And I'm excited to see it through. I've gotten so many comments to the affirmative on this. It's exciting. And so that was probably the main reason I brought it through. And then the other thing is, I got one comment that I want to bring up. Actually, a couple people said the same thing, and I think it's a little, maybe it's the sign of the times, but a few people mentioned that they're doing it because organic eggs now cost $6 or $7 for a dozen, and people can't afford it, and they got a bunch of kids, and it's meaningful to them. So I think on that front, we don't necessarily always think about that, but I think that's another important thing to consider. So I appreciate everyone's support on this. I yield.
Thank you. Councilor Stroman.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to say that I received a lot of emails, telephone calls, and comments from constituents and people generally in the community, and I just appreciate that the community is being engaged. I do read all of those, and I do answer I listen to the voicemails, and even if I didn't get back to somebody, that doesn't mean I didn't read it, because I did. There's plenty of them in my inbox, and I read them all, and I just thank you for offering me your opinions on these things. I yield.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Evans.
Similar to what Mr. Stroman said, there's been a lot of correspondence coming from constituents about this, and right now I can say it's probably 20 to 1 in favor of chickens. Now, the last time we voted on this, I would say those numbers were reversed, and I don't know whether it's just because it hasn't been up for public discussion yet, but it's looking like we're probably going to have to allow the citizens to do what they're asking for. So if the people are in opposition, they need to mobilize themselves and let us know, because I believe the council is willing to do whatever the citizens want for this, and it's looking like it's a very favorable thing right now. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments on this? Councilor Pettigrew.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I really don't have any skin in this game. I really don't care if there's chickens or not. But I do have some comments to make. Like Councilman Stroman and Councilman Evans has said, we got a lot of emails. And I told David Holland, he called me the other day, and we had a long discussion about this. And I said, I'm going to vote simply on who I get the most emails from, pro or against. So to David's credit, he must have gotten all the pro-chicken people on it, and I got a lot of emails. But shortly after David and I talked, I got a negative comment, and I said, same thing, whoever gets me the most emails. You would not be surprised how many negative comments I got. In fact, David, I can show you all my tallies. The no's won. And I just think this group, and like I say, I don't care. Dave, you could have them. I don't care. You live 2 houses from me. I don't care. But I think the group should go and create a ballot and put it before the city. Let the citizens decide. Why are us 10 people trying to decide this? That doesn't make sense to me. Let the people of Rapid City decide. I think that would be the best way to address this. But I'd just like to make a couple comments. My wife has a good friend who raises chickens. And she sent my wife a long email today about it. And I've heard often from those for it, groceries are high. I think they think they're going to go to the bank and save a lot of money. Do the math, folks. You got to buy chickens. You got to buy feed. You got to build a chicken coop. There are other expenses, and you aren't going to save any money on this. You really aren't. I think it's a cute, warm, fuzzy feeling. That's great, but don't distort it with the cost of food, and you're going to save a lot of money. That's just not going to happen. Long time ago, when I was young, dumb, and stupid, I had a wood-burning stove, and I was going to put MDU out of business by burning wood. And I went and bought a $600 chainsaw. I went and bought a $30,000 pickup. How long do you think the payback was on that? I mean, I soon learned that was a stupid idea, and I think the same thing has to be done with these chickens. You are not going to save money. And I just don't have confidence in the citizens of Rapid City, not all of them, but they are going to be responsible in maintaining these pens. Code enforcement has their hands full, and they're not responsible for this. They'll get the calls. The call should go to animal control, not code enforcement. But code enforcement has enough problems trying to keep antique cars off the street that don't run, weeds off the street, all sorts of other issues, and I think this is just going to be an additional burden to code enforcement because they'll get the calls. I've been told that the Animal Control / Humane Society has 2 people for the entire city. I don't know if that's correct or not. I'm assuming it is. So I just think if we're going to implement this, probably us as a council or city has to do some discussion on how we are going to control all this, because not all citizens are going to be good hen keepers, and there's going to be problems, and how are we going to address those? That's the end of my comments. Thank you.
Thank you. I do have Callie Meyer on the line who would like to say a few words. Callie, there's a brief delay, so she'll get on in just a moment.
Thank you. I just wanted to say that, like, I am out of town this week, and I think I was originally planning on just being absent from this meeting, but had received an overwhelming amount of communication in support of this. I truly received 3 pieces of opposition to probably 30 in favor, and so if we do go by the logic of who's the most supportive, I felt like I had to make the phone call meeting work, because I really needed to cast my vote in support of this because of the amount of outreach that we heard from constituents. And so I will be voting in the affirmative. If there's a delay, I apologize. I want to make sure it gets counted as the affirmative. So with that, I yield. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Meyer. I have no, Councilor Sechrist, you have the floor, ma'am.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to add in that this motion today is to bring forward an ordinance for consideration. And so I think this is a great time for all of us, potentially as a group, to get together to work through some of the concerns. The crew that's worked on this for the last decade has done a great job of vetting concerns over the years. And I want to just acknowledge the effort that's gone into that. And thank you for bringing that forward the way in which you did. But to Alderman Pettigrew's concerns with handling the concerns, he's absolutely right. There will be issues and there will be people that aren't maintaining their hens, as we see historically with other animals. And I doubt that it's going to be a super common occurrence, because it is an investment to establish a coop and maintain. And but there will be opportunities for things to go south, and so I think we do need to vet through that and look at that at the ordinance. And I know I mentioned this at Legal Finance, but I am a big proponent of this ordinance with a 10-foot property line setback requirement, just so that we can potentially ease any potential conflicts between neighbors in close proximity. And just that my property abuts 2 rental properties on both sides, and I could just see how easily a worst case scenario could transpire. So I'll be supporting this and look forward to seeing the ordinance brought forward and further discussion on this item. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion from council members? If I may, then just add a couple of comments before we get to a vote. I've been asked many times if I would sign this, or if an ordinance passed, or I would veto it. I would sign it so long as we have protections for the neighboring properties to this. But I also believe it's a bit of a property rights issue for the people that are on board. So I think those are the two things to always weigh. Is there's a property rights issue to kind of do what you want on your property, so long as it doesn't negatively impact your neighbors. So with the ordinance, if it passes, I would just urge that we have our staff really look into that to make sure that we write a tight ordinance. Two, the reason I would sign it, it really goes back to when we had supply chain issues and we saw empty shelves in grocery stores. And that really struck with me at that time and made me really think about the local food initiatives, which is something the Sustainability Committee has worked on, and I appreciate that. And I told them that was near and dear to my heart with gardens and having access to local foods in case we have shortages. How do we feed people? Just a thing I think about. I know that's kind of weird, but I think that's just our job. And while it's not necessarily my responsibility to feed people, I do think allowing people to grow their own food and to perhaps provide a healthy source of protein and those sorts of things can be good. I do have concerns I think were brought up. I think those are very wise words from some of the council members regarding enforcement, regarding upkeep and care, regarding the caretaking of the hens, ensuring we have no roosters, those sorts of things. I think there's a lot there to consider, but we are not reinventing the wheel here. A lot of communities have done this, and I think all of that, if it's a reasonable and responsible ordinance, I could get behind it. So I appreciate giving the staff an opportunity to craft something that might even be more tight than the ones that's going to the vote. But if you decide to take it to the vote, then the people will decide, and of course that's that's an option for you as well. So just thought I'd throw that out there. Lots of feedback on this, and I'd say it's been pretty split to me. But my third time on this one, I think, been pretty interesting. So it's kind of deja vu all over again. But the vitriol is not nearly as bad this time, which is kind of nice. So, but maybe John laughed, so maybe he has a different experience. And so, John, I would love to hear about that experience. Would you mind taking some time to explain it?
No, I was going to say I think this is my 5th time on this. So, and I spoke to the chicken group at the very beginning of this and said, let's get it on the ballot and get people to vote on it. We could have put it to bed, I think. Well, maybe not. You may have had to be like the Civic Center and vote on it 2 or 3 times before you got it passed, if you got it passed. I do know that I've got a different experience than most people. I get a lot of the people that are worried about their neighbors not maintaining and taking care of them. Some of these people, because they've had negative experiences with people that already had chickens. I personally have been involved in cleaning up 2 properties where people moved and had chickens that didn't take care of them well. And it can be a total mess if you don't take care of them. I've had a lot of people, because of the fact that this has been ongoing for over a decade, that are very much against it. And it was interesting because I did talk to a few people today, and they were shocked that the majority of people that have talked to me have been against it. And I think a lot of it has to do with, again, neighborhoods. I think a lot of it has to do with social, economic, status, where I mean, if you can afford, because I personally know somebody that's got like a $20,000 chicken coop for their chickens. They can afford that. And, again, 6 chickens for anybody that has been around chickens. I spent a lot of time around livestock when I was younger. Too much time. That's why I live in the city. But 6 chickens is not going to feed a family. You might feed them for a week after you kill and eat the chickens, but the eggs aren't going to feed a family for a full week. So, and that's been one of my concerns too, is these become pets, and chickens do not lay eggs forever, and it's really hard to kill your pet. So your pet's got to go somewhere, and it's even harder to kill and eat your pet. So, that's why people on the ranch really don't make friends of their pets, because they know eventually they're going to eat them. So anyway, I think that there's a lot of issues that this brings up to a lot of my constituents. And I just have a different look at it than I think a lot of other people do, because of the people that bring forward their concerns. And I had somebody that I was talking to a couple of days ago about it. They're concerned about their cats because they live in a neighborhood that has a lot of cats, and they're worried about their cats getting into somebody's chickens and the liability and what's going to happen. And I mean, there's a lot of aspects to it. We hear a lot of negative and positive. Ideally, if it passes, I hope everything's fantastic and it all works out fine. In the real world, that doesn't happen. There's always going to be issues one way or another. I'll be blunt, I'm going to vote no on it again. I don't think there's anything anybody could ever convince me into voting yes on it, especially after voting no, I think I said 4 or 5 times so far. And I've been pretty consistent on this council. If I vote no on something or yes on something, you usually do that. So I just wanted to make it clear my point, where I'm at, and you can call me, we can talk about it, but you're not going to change my mind. So I just want to let you know that. So anyway, thank you.
What's your number? I'll call you.
I think this is a good, this issue is a good issue because I think you hear great points on all sides, and I think that's good. And I think everybody here wants what's best for Rapid City, and I appreciate those points as well, John. Kevin Maher is now in the queue. Just allow a little more time for people to chime in.
No, I would just like to call for the vote, please.
Yep. So we're going to do a roll call vote with this, and the motion on the floor is to direct staff to craft an ordinance to bring back to the council. So tonight they are not approving whether we allow hens. They are simply directing staff to craft an ordinance to then make that decision. So with that, Heidi, let's go to a roll call vote, please.
Stroman.
No.
Pettigrew.
No.
Seacrest. Bieberdorf. Tamang. Evans. Meyer.
Aye.
Lehman. Maher. Roberts. Motion passes 6-4.
Okay. So we'll do that. We'll work on that. We'll get that back to you in the near future. Thank you, everyone. Now we will move on to to public hearing items 28 through 33 and open the public hearing for items 28 through 33. I have no speaker request form, so we will close the public hearing and move on to consent public hearing items 28 through 32. Would the council like to remove any item for consideration? All right. We have a motion by Roberts to approve all of the consent items with a second by Bieberdorf. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. That takes us to the end of the consent public hearing calendar. We will move on to non-consent public hearing item number 33, approve resolution 2026-002, a request by TUI Design Group for Watershed Development 2 LLC for a petition for annexation for property generally described as being located north of the northern terminus of Cloud Peak Drive. Motion by Roberts with a second by Tamang. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we're going to go to the bill list. Before we do that, Councilor Pettigrew would like to make a few remarks.
I just think we're going into some extremely difficult economic times, and I would ask that all departments look at their travel requests prior to making those and reviewing today's bills. I'm not putting anyone under the gun here, but I noticed the fire department sent some people to some training, and I just think we got to slow down the process of sending people everywhere. And there's been discussion amongst a few of us on the council that maybe before we go to conferences and training, maybe we should have those departments come before us and tell us what it's about. And then when they get back from that, after the first council meeting, report to us and let us know what they learned. I just think the city has to tighten their belt. In my business, we have a conference every year, and we normally send several people, and this year we didn't. Business is tough. Economically, the country's in tough shape, and I think we need to slow down, and I'm just asking all departments to really consider before they sign the dotted line to send someone someplace, can you do it virtually? Can you do it by Zoom? Or not go? And I would just like some justification from all employees before they go. Come before the council, come before someone, and let us know where you're going, what it's going to cost, and what are the benefits to the city. Thank you.
All right, with that, we'll go to item 34, the bill list for Main Street Square and Visit Rapid City. Actually, I need to let the finance director say all that. Will you chime back in there, Daniel? I was going to do your job for you. Finance Director Daniel Ainsley.
Feel free, Mr. Mayor. It's okay. The bill list for Main Street Square and Visit Rapid City total $80,062.27 tonight.
All right. I apologize that I was being spoken to. Who made the motion and second?
Lindsay.
Okay, we got a motion by Seacrest with a second by Tamang to approve item 34. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries with one abstention from Councilor Meyer. Item 35 will return to Daniel Ainsley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The remaining bills total $12,822,368.60.
We have a motion by Roberts with a second by Seacrest. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. I did have a request real quick from Councilor Stroman to Director Tice. Looks like we have a street closure on Cross Street that maybe just to let folks know about.
Yes, that is correct. We had a request from the railroad. They've got some damage out there to an arm, so they requested to close the street tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock.
And Cross Street?
Cross Street, that is
which
correct.
Connects both Omaha and
West Main.
Yeah. So very heavily used street. So thank you for that. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. We got a motion by Tamang with a second by Maher to adjourn. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, everyone.